everyone. It's a very, very warm welcome to Nottingham Hockey Centre for today's match in the England Hockey Men's Premier Division. It's Beeston versus Reading. I'm Andy Day. Sitting alongside me is Steve Musson. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Andy. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Looking forward to this.
Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
As they always say in commentary boxes. This is the second match that we've brought to you on BTV this season. It's the first time we've seen the men, and twice in 2 weeks we've hosted a promoted side.
Yes.
And Reading, they're unchanged from what we understand from there was the 16 from last week. A couple of little additions to the Beeston side today. We'll go through those in a moment. You were saying, though, that this is a very settled Reading side off air.
I think it is. I mean, you've got the situation where they've come through the league below to get into his men's Division 1 South. They got out of that. That's a tough thing to do. It's a hard league to get out of, and for a long time they were nip and tuck with Canterbury last year, but managed to win by 3 points in the end of 13 wins. So they're quite settled. Excellent coaching from Jason Lee, who we can talk about as we go. So they'll be very well organised today.
Indeed. Let's have a quick look at that team sheet if we can in a few moments. Well, this is the Beeston one. One new addition coming in this week, Balraj Panesar, number 14. Looking forward to see him play. Famous worldwide.
Yep, he is. He's some difficulty trying to get him registered, but I think that's all been sorted now, hasn't it?
Indeed,
So
it was all systems
settled.
go immediately before match time. There was nip and tuck, but that confirmation has come through. He won't be starting, but he will be playing. That means that no space in the team today for Connor Webb. Other than that, it's the same match day squad from last week.
It is. I think Stephen Wood's hoping for a better performance than last week. He was quite pleased in many ways with the way that they played, but it wasn't so good from the conversion rate. The number of times in the D for Beeston last year, 31, and only 1 goal and 4 penalty corners. So that's something they've been working on this week.
I have a feeling that the match officials are waiting for a cue, although I think they are going. And led out by Nick Bennett and Neil Smith, today's match umpires in green. Beeston, it's a home debut for the new shirt.
Yes, there's a bit of debate about them. I think they look fantastic, to be honest. And so proper colours for Beeston and different design.
And Reading today in light blue and dark blue. Yeah. And that looks very, very smart. I know I don't want to get too held up on the kit, but it does look very smart. And you don't get many half and halves in hockey.
You don't. No. This is a bit of a fixture, really. There's a lot of history between these two clubs. Reading particularly have a great history themselves. They've 6 times the men's league champions and 10 National Cup winners as well. 10 times National Cup winners. So a bit of a few difficult seasons, but the idea of getting them out of the lower leagues and back into the Prem has been good, and a great start for them as well last week.
We'll have a look at the Reading side now if we can. We've got Chris Weaver in goal, Ollie DC as the captain. And it's a very settled side, as we're saying. Monty Neve is a change. We were expecting him to be number 11, but we had a final notice that Monty's left his shirt at home. So he's 45 today.
So often happens with players, isn't it? The number of times you find they leave their sticks on buses and trains and all sorts of things. So they'll have sorted that one out.
To point out as well, Tom Minnell scored 2 goals last week. Also, Fred Newbold scored a penalty corner and had a goal from open play as well. So
Tom Minnell certainly, Andy, is somebody I think we need to look out for. Busy forward, and decent defence need to make sure that they sort him out early on in the game. Captain Olidezi's been around a long time and drives them on. His approach to the game is one of very hard work and is a proper grafter, so he'll be another one to look out for today.
We were having a quick look at the standings as well. This is the position before the game. There were 2 results yesterday, of course, and that's why Surbiton, Holcombe, East Grinstead and Hampstead and Westminster are all on 2 games. A win today for Reading would see them climb to the top of the pile on 6 points. Bearing in mind that other results may go their way. Old Georgians in action on foreign fields.
Yes, they are, playing in the AHL. Their game today against Pinoquet from Holland, and they had a good win yesterday. So they're flying in the AHL competition, first time in it for them.
So there's the goal today for Reading, top of the Premier Division potentially for them.
Yes, yeah, they'll be up for this. It's been quite a long time since they've experienced difficulties and lots of losses, so they'll be very confident. I'd expect them to start quickly today.
Reading are off picture. They are still just coming out of their huddle. There's still some bits and pieces on the field that we need to get cleared up. Beeston eager and ready to go. As mentioned, today's match officials, Nick Bennett and Neil Smith, your match umpires. Looking forward to seeing the men's team for the first time this season. You were saying that it was, well, they went ahead very early on through Ollie Ashdown last week against Oxted, and we are off and underway with Reading once again in all blue on your screen, playing from right to left, attacking the car park end. Beeston in the black and yellow halved shirts, playing towards the boulevard end, which is left to right. This is BTV.
A steady start there with ball played into the midfield for the first time, but a lot of Beeston players around the receiver, so that was passed back out. Beeston with a possession and a free hit.
Are we expecting an explosive start, do you think?
Well, I was just wondering, I mean, it sort of looked a bit slower than I expected from the start there from Reading. I mean, they made sure that they'd got possession and they were set, a couple of plays and nothing of it, so it seemed a bit stalemate, but we were literally in the early phases, so we'll see how it goes. Keen to see Beeston's basics. I've watched them pre-season, and it's a stronger side than it's been in previous years, so they're hopeful that they can make a bit of an impact, and certainly it's going to have to start today, really.
First touch for Ali Richmond, one of the new recruits from Loughborough University.
Yeah, Scottish player, very good. I enjoy watching him play. He's the turnover there, a lot of pressure from the Reading forward.
Look at the pace in the middle from Monty Neve, who goes to ground.
Reading have the ball on the edge of the D. They've worked hard to get that and retain the possession high up the field.
Working it again into the centre, just beyond the penalty spot. It's a dangerous moment. Nice pace that we've seen already from Reading.
Yeah, that pass straight across the D. It's one of the things that teams try to sort out, making sure that the ball doesn't come out of the D once it's in there. But Reading didn't have anybody high on the right-hand side. Back to Beeston possession.
Early pressure coming from the visitors. Just been bypassed. Ali Richmond looks up, and Griffiths goes round one challenge. Toby Hazelborn had been bypassed. The ball bouncing around the circus, been kept in. No, it hasn't, but it has been knocked out at the expense of a long corner. Promising end-to-end stuff from both sides so far. Yeah,
just a moment there where I thought they might try and keep the ball in on the dangerous part of the D, but they went for the long corner. Beeston fairly good in possession so far, just moving it around quite nicely. Transfer around the back. Jamie Rawlings, his first season with Beeston. Interestingly enough, he's had time at Reading in the past, so there are some rivalries going on the pitch. Same for Ashdown as well.
Recruit from Havants, Jamie Rawlings. There's an attempt to go around the outside. The ball's been pushed out. It was close to the baseline, long corner, second. In relatively quick succession from Beeston. I have a feeling, from a commentary point of view, it's going to be a long day. Yeah. There's going to be an awful lot to describe.
Yeah. The benefits of long corners, in the past they used to be taken from the side of the pitch, as hockey aficionados would know. Now they're taken in line with where the ball goes off the back or where the offences deemed to have occurred, and the restart is much more active straight away.
As the ball attempted to get in the circle, but there were two Reading players on the edge of the circle defending that, although turnover at 5 metres out. Beeston give away a free hit and Reading can clear.
Yeah, a couple of little moments there where Beeston player on the ball, nicely defended from Reading, making sure there's plenty of players low and in shape to take the ball off the Beeston player.
Conditions-wise, as Reading hold possession on the 23-metre line, that looks very cloudy in your picture, but I don't think that's quite as representative of what it looks like outside. It's a pleasant day, very still, good for hockey, nice autumnal day.
And of course the colour of the pitch, and it lifts the spirits.
That's the most contrived thing I think I've ever heard in my life. But anyway,
this pitch replacement, it's sort of gone up 3 shades this time, I think. So
aerial ball from the get-go. That was a bit beyond Ali Richmond.
Hopeful. I watched Old Georgians play Nottingham University last week, and they used the aerial a lot. It was often thrown in the same sort of direction as that one. And the difference was it went to a player.
Big win for Old Georgians a week ago.
Yes, it was. Yeah, they're very accomplished at the moment. the forward line particularly is dangerous, and obviously people like Sam Ward and Chris Griffiths and the Carson brothers, makes them a very strong side. There's been a bit on us even at the moment, I think, and Beeston doing well to step in and intercept the pass. Use of an aerial again.
Towards Samapula, who's come out a long way. Goalkeeper arms astride.
Yeah, Samapula thought he might get a tennis shot finish there, wasn't quite right. That's that work rate back from Sam there to get back into shape quickly.
Bit of a nibble on the Reading player in the distance.
Yes, a couple of D entries for both teams so far. Nothing sinister for either side. A lot of good possession and passing around the back four players. That's a neat ball through, but nicely intercepted by Beeston.
Somewhat telegraphed, but you've got to be there to make the interception. That's nice from Apula, going direct, playing it into the body. This will be a free hit.
Difficult to do sometimes, turn in the midfield and get through your marking player. You've got to make sure that you're in good control, stick on the ball, but you've got an idea of where you're going to make your pass, which Sam did, got the foot.
Rawlings goes on the outside, back inside, although not perfect. Gifting possession back under an awful lot of Beeston pressure.
He's done well there.
Extremely well from Harry Skinner.
And that's into some space.
It is indeed. Beeston have a lot of players at home. Let's play towards a goal, and that pulls Simon Hujman in the Beeston goal into action for the first time.
Yeah, that's the first decent attack for either side, and a lot of space on the right-hand side. Reading did well to get that out between two players on the left-hand side before they transferred it and led to the chance. Simon Hujman will be pleased to have got a stick on that.
Long corner. Reading not in a great hurry for the restart. Leaving it for Gregor Hearn, who opts to go backwards.
Yeah, thoughtful build-ups from them really, rather than flat out. So not particularly quick on the restart at the moment. But you know, if you're retaining possession, that's fine. Just trying to seek out where the gaps might be.
Interception coming in from Griffiths. Looks like Beeston will go from here.
Interesting watching different styles of teams. As I just said, Reading steady in the build-up there. Other sides can be very quick and flat out with quick restarts. The self-pass has made that possible. But even so, you don't have to react like that. You can play a different style of game, and Jason Lee's history really has been one of plotting and planning, so he'll be telling them to change their tempo quite a lot. Mix up the pace stuff with the steady build-up play.
For younger viewers, you might like to explain about Jason Lee and his role in coaching and his history.
Yeah, Jason himself, he was an international player with quite a lot of caps, 35 goals for England and Great Britain, and then he chose to go into coaching in sort of late 90s, early 2000s, coached England, Great Britain, took them from sort of 11th ranking in the world up to 4th, so credible statistics and CV really.
Kept in play, goalkeepers had to come out. Umpire having a good look at this, and arms either side, ball carried over by Beeston. That's sometimes you've got to throw a little bit of chaos in there.
That's right. Both teams sort of matching each other a bit now. There's another D circle entry there from Beeston, matching the one from Reading a few moments ago. A bit more cagey than I thought it would be. Reading making sure that they've only got the two players at the back now. Their half-backs are quite progressed up the pitch, so adding to the strength on either flank or in the midfield. So, and there's the use of aerial, nicely picked up.
Nice from Brandon Andrews, who's still battling for it. Yeah. Goes his way. Reading having to retreat. Beeston not again.
Yeah, again steady.
That's right. There's an overlap ball to Richmond, and that's the one that's been picked out, fired in towards the circle. That's a nice touch, goalkeeper involved. Long corner, swing of the arm indicates. That was speedy and precise.
Yeah, it was the Reading defence drifting over to protect what they thought would be a ball down the line, and it was fired into the D. Could have led to a chance of two Beeston players close to the keeper there. I think that's when you've got to, as a forward, really work hard to get on the end of the ball. Not let it come to you. You've got to make sure that the connection happens. And here we go down the flank.
And that's been left neatly into the corner. Attempted 3D skills coming off. Second attempt.
Yeah, an opportunity again.
Blows. Reading need to retreat a little bit. Trapped on the edge of the circle. You can feel that Beeston are trying to build something here, but that's not going to help things. Again, Richmond involved. You see that bright number 19. I'm a big fan of the Beeston numbers this season.
Yes, yeah, they're visible.
Mentioning no international teams' names.
Yes.
On a completely unrelated note, hello if you're watching from South Africa.
So we're back in that steady build-up phase again, just nicely trapped by the Beast. I can see who that was on the Beast on the left there, James Hunt, I think, but he made sure that was nicely picked up. And here we go again, back with Reading and taking their time. Use of the aerial again.
Sailing over everybody. Reading get the whistle. Looking at the form table, now this is a potentially, I don't want to say misleading, but there is a difference in competition here. Beeston have lost 5 games in a row.
Right.
And Reading, they've lost 1 out of 5. However, that includes 1 win in the Premier Division, all the others coming in.
Here's some space here, Andy. This is a chance.
It is. Goalkeepers come out, and that's been flicked away and play on.
That was quite a chance there. As Jamie Golden sort of one-on-one with the keeper at that point, and keeper came off better. Still with Beeston in a dangerous place.
Big shout, big painful shout on the floor.
So he starts to look for the opportunity to get corners. I think that was an attempt there to the first play to try and find a foot.
I'm impressed at the speed and the angles of the runs so far from Beeston. There's a couple of things that you wouldn't have anticipated, and sudden bursts of speed. And that's what I think was missing last season on quite a lot of the games.
Yes, I think that's right. And Sam Mapula had what I thought was a good season last year, and he's obviously stuck with it and he's settled into the side now, and I think he knows what to expect and how he might receive the ball. Beeston's still missing Henry Croft, who you may recall had that awful injury at the back end of last season, has been playing a bit in Australia and has just returned. So I expect to see him back with Beeston shortly.
Whistle blows.
Yeah, good strong turn from the Reading player. He was on his reverse stick as he tried to get around the Beeston player, and managed to do it as well. So strong hands.
Newbold was the player with the restart. It's another free hit for Reading. Attacking the car park end. A quick reminder as well, if you've been watching the international hockey over the summer, it's 17.5-minute quarters we're playing, 70 minutes overall, and we're into the 13th minute. It is chugged by at a pace.
It has, yeah.
Another free hit.
Quite interesting, Andy, how both the sort of the attacks that we've seen and the play that we've seen are replicated for both teams. It's almost like they're sort of copying each other to some extent. A little bit of play for Reading now on that right-hand side with free hits and restarts. Again, they'll try hard here to upgrade this, see if they can get a penalty corner out of it, or a connected cross.
Use of the body.
Yeah. And again, same thing. Beeston defence here need to be watchful, low, ready to receive anything that's crossed into the D, and that's forced Reading out. So they're back into the play around the back four.
Ball forward by Hearn. That's a good interception.
Nicely stepped in there by Sam Mapula, just watching where that ball was heading. Saying again, he's in. He's a good defender from these sorts of situations.
Crow almost gave the ball away, but redeemed himself very well. Number 32 for Reading, Ryan Crow. Ball popping up.
Yeah, I thought that was played onto a Reading foot. So there we go. Now that is a quicker restart. Robbie Gleeson to Gareth Griffiths, and a couple of good connections.
Anasar. That's, I believe, the first touch in a Beeston
yes,
shirt.
That's right.
What can he do? Well, he's done very well to get to here, and gets another free hit. Reading a little bit reluctant to give possession of the ball back up, but nothing coming from that. Robbie Gleeson making himself available, decides to take the step and rush onwards beyond Monty Neve.
Yeah, ball got too far ahead of him there. He was on quite a good trajectory into the D, but so didn't keep his control. Beeston winning that. And again, lots of turnovers at the moment. Missed his aerial flick there, that's gone Ball of 4 feet. Picked up by a Beeston player. I think both sides need to improve the amount of possession they've had of the ball. They're very rarely stringing together more than about 3 or 4 passes at the minute before the ball's given back to the opponent. So they need to just get that bit to be a bit stronger, and that applies to both teams. Reading starting to put a little bit more of a press on there, squeezing the player in the middle of the park when he receives the ball. That's fallen free, but again, you see that's 5 or 6 passes and it's back to Reading. And same again, Reading turn it back over to Beeston. So it's that was a bit of quality missing at the minute, I think.
Although that was a nice bit of individual skill to try and get the ball away, flicking the ball up and then towards the sideline.
Yes.
Nothing really coming of it though. What's your anticipation of how many goals we'll see today?
Well, if it carries on like this, we can probably look forward to a 0-0 draw. But I think games often change. They have different phases of play, particularly the quarters. You get phases in the run into the breaks, and I think sooner or later we'll see that one side or the other will get an advantage from something.
Tom Minogue with a headband involved. Goal scorer twice the last week.
Yes, yeah.
2 from open play. So 4 goals for the season so far for Reading. Just the 1 for Beeston, that one coming from Ollie Ashdown 3 minutes into the defeat last weekend at Oxted.
I think Reading will be pleased with that start. Starting off in a new league when you've been promoted is always tricky. Played against Brooklands, who seasoned in the Premier League now, but struggling a little bit. And so Reading with a 4-goal advantage there, was 4-2 advantage was good for them really.
Often when a change of division comes in, the goal scoring dries up a little bit because it's a world of difference. It's the same sport, but it's a different competition.
That's right. Yeah, I think one thing about hockey as a sport, it does lend itself to lots of goals as long as sides play progressively. I think as far as this game's concerned at the moment, there's not been enough precision from either side. Simon Hudgwan
having to pad it out, being kept in play as well. Beeston coming through that brilliantly. Captain Griffiths just shielding the ball, being tapped away. Crow.
So far we've not seen penalty corner or an obvious chance. A lot of nip and tuck stuff and a lot of turnover ball from both teams. So,
well, in the summing up so far, there've been one goalkeeper slightly busier than the other, and that's Simon Hudgwan in the Beeston goal. He's had to be involved with his stick and his hand pad as well.
Yeah.
There is the first whistle of the game, bringing the first quarter to a close. Beeston coming off and Reading following them.
A stalemate, I think, would be.
Well, I think it's been a bit more than a stalemate. Yes, it's true. Both teams have been feeling each other out a little bit, and I think the goal scoring will come.
Yeah.
But it's Beeston definitely don't want to lose today.
It almost feels like they've been sort of sounding each other out in that first quarter to see what they're up against, and maybe that'll be what happens. Yeah.
Whilst we're at quarter time, our headline sponsor is the Magical Mushroom Company. The Magical Mushroom Company harnesses the natural flexibility and strength of mycelium, the material structure of fungi, to grow protective packaging at any scale by combining it with agricultural waste such as hemp, cork and sawdust. This offers a safe, sustainable and totally home compostable alternative to plastic foams. Ideal for packaging, horticulture and interior design solutions. You could say they're solving a plastic problem with the magic of mushrooms. Since 2020, the Magical Mushroom Company has produced over 500,000 pieces of mushroom packaging, and by 2023 they'll effectively have removed more than 1,000 tonnes of EPS packaging from landfill. Find out more about the Magical Mushroom Company at magicalmushroom.com. So Beeston Heading now, we're into that 2-minute quarter-time break. Typical commentator question. We're easing ourselves back into the season. What's the word from the both sets of coaches? Is it more of the same or try something radically different?
Well, if they've sort of been watching the same game that we've been watching, I think both sides will be talking about having possession for longer, trying to be a little bit more direct. I think they'll both be looking to try to at least win a penalty corner or two in the early phase of this next quarter. And it's just about making the game a little bit more progressive for each team, because at the moment it's they've been sort of trapped in the middle part of the pitch. My suspicion is that sooner or later that will change, and as happens with a lot of hockey games, it'll open up at some point.
It will be Reading to get us underway for the second quarter. Do we have a match ball? Yes, we do. With some sort of unspecified hold of goalkeeper Chris Weaver even, is just taking a little bit to get that goalkeeping equipment on. Umpires finally in position. I think Neil Smith was just...
I think he was the reason for the slight delay.
Oh, I see.
I think.
We did have a little bit more than the 2 minutes, because I heard the piece of music, which does last 2 minutes, and that stopped. So that tells me we had a bit longer.
You picked the piece of music, did you, Andy?
Oh, I put it together. So yeah, I know it's a 2-minute piece of music. So yeah, we've had substantially longer than 2 minutes. So if you've been off and made yourself a quarter-time cup of tea, you haven't missed anything.
Interesting from Beeston's point of view at the moment. They're not pressing particularly high. They're only just sort of in the Reading half. So it's at the moment what they would call the high press, where the forwards really try to chase down the guys on the ball. That's not happened yet. Similarly from Reading, you can see then their line of setup is quite deep, quite a few gaps there to find Robbie Gleeson in the middle. I felt there that he got space. He could have probably turned and travelled forward, but he chose to do what they call recycling, pass it out back through the back four. Not really worked for them, because it's been passed back to Reading. So
from that I can distill more boldness required.
I think that's right. Yeah, I think one of the sides is going to have to take it on a bit, really. There's no doubt the gaps are there. We're seeing players receiving the ball in quite a bit of space. And again, you see there's a
turnover in midfield. Reading up beyond the 23-metre line.
And again,
step in defence.
A lot of checking back and to try to make a pass rather than progressing forward and trying to make a connection going forward. Particularly on the flanks, it's something you can do relatively safely, because if you get that ball forward, your players are all in shape still. Maybe the forwards are not doing what they call leading well enough and making obvious where they want the ball passing.
This hasn't been the greatest couple of minutes of hockey. It's
here we go. This is a bit of a turn here. So Gareth Griffiths, but he's been tackled. So
as you were saying in the first quarter, it's the moment where a team sticks a few things together. Did that hit a foot on the way through? I think it did, or more accurately, a leg.
Yeah, and this is how it can open up. That ball really was thrown in. It was because it was thrown into the D in a bobbly sort of a way. The turnover here is the trigger point, as you can see. It was difficult for the defender, and if you don't get your stick on it accurately, it's likely to hit your feet. There in the air.
In from Daniel Cox. Bang. And
bit of pressure from the lead forward, although it was marked. But it hits a foot, and here we go. This is the first real chance for Reading.
You can see just the right of the picture, number 17, Fred Newbold, who I fancy is likeliest to take this, although it's not guaranteed. Harry Skinner just to the left as well, the players with number 7 and 17 on their shirts. They're a little bit step back.
Yeah. 2 receiving points, so there's 2 fellas who will be prepared to trap the ball, and one behind each one of them is a flicker, so call those the castles. It'd be interesting to see which one they inject the ball to.
Delivery's good, low and then flicked away, repeat penalty corner. I think that may have come off Robbie Gleeson.
Yeah, the number 1 runner, or whoever that was, it hit his foot, I think, so. Reward.
You're watching a replay, by the way. The team's almost ready to take. In fact, we'll drop the replay and go back live.
Same again.
And
well saved.
Again.
That's a very good save low to Simon Hujwan's right. Any slip or failure to get down by the keeper there, and you're looking at 1-0 down. So that's excellent work from Simon Hujwan.
Danger's not over though. Reading looking to make good their advantage. And then
Ollie Ashdown doing very well there, and Sam Pooler getting that ball forward.
Working well, Ashdown.
An obvious intent there to not to restart too quickly. Whether that's been an instruction from the coach or whether it's just the players, but there was a chance there to restart and put the pressure on, but Beeston haven't taken that opportunity.
I think it's worth pointing out again, this is a long string of fixtures without a victory for Beeston.
Yeah.
And I think getting the basics right is important.
Definitely. I'm sure that what we're seeing is trying to instill that confidence, and it's making them take a bit more time than usual so that they don't find themselves out of shape or giving the ball away too often. Reading just beginning gradually to take a slightly more progressive approach. Must be something in the wind today because the aerials have all been thrown off the pitch.
There is, I think, definitely from the start of the game, the wind has picked up. We can see the flags just on your picture now. They were still at the start of the game. Now they have started to flutter around. Also good to see the crowd here today. There's an awful lot of people off camera as well. So if you do ever want to come down to Nottingham Hockey Centre and watch a game, you are more than welcome to join us either on the spectator gallery on the bench, or you can watch the game on BTV from the bar. That's the good picture. It's a nice way out of defence.
Dear,
that's been gifted to Fred Newbold, who checks this way, and that is still in possession, goes to ground. Free hit.
Yes, it was a bit of a sloppy pass there from Jamie Rawlings, straight onto the open stick of a Reading player.
Crow gets fouled.
Dangerous place now. We're sensing just a bit more progression from Reading, and it's given them a penalty corner, but there we go again. That's been nicely defended.
It was defended well. I'm not convinced about the distance between the restart and the Beeston defender, which was Ryan Bowie.
Now this tight area, getting the ball out, there's a good way of doing it, and that's found a lot of space.
Oh, but that first time ball for where was that? Who was that to?
That would have been to Jamie Golden, who was free. Really careless.
Reverse
Realistic cross, that's gone dangerously across the goal mouth.
Difficult place to restart from as well. Sideline ball, almost a stick's distance away from the corner flag. Reading though have it, looking to restart with Toby Hayward-Bourne.
Yeah, another restart in a dangerous place. Just literally seconds ago, Beeston had the opportunity to create a really strong attack there, but it was just a very careless attempt at a pass. It's put them back under pressure again. It's little moments like that change games.
Interesting on the restart that Reading left the ball and Beeston didn't fall for it. They didn't step forward as Reading had anticipated. So that's good regimented defence from Beeston.
Yes. They're going to get phases in the game where they do get more of a counter-attack game, Beeston. They've got to be ready to pass early and to know where they're going to pass to. Here's an opportunity. A little bit tight from the defender's point of view there, closed down quickly. Trying to find their way out of these tight corners.
26th minute on BTV. Beeston 0, Reading 0, but it's been a good 0-0 as these things go. Just in front of the camera position, you can't quite see him now. One of the new signings I'm excited to see is hugging the touchline. I'm sure that'll be the next pass, and that's trying to find number 5, Louis Dupre, French under-21 and full international.
Yeah.
With a headband, that's Tom Minnell, trying to close things down. I think he was trying to attack one of the white dots rather than the ball then for a second.
Yes. Yeah, the all went into slow motion again there, so Beeston and Reading dropping off beyond the 23-metre. It's still deciding not to really cause any too much trouble for the centre-backs. Steady Golden yet again. See, I think there's more opportunity for them to do some work down the flanks than there is through the midfield. The midfield seems to be very stagnant, and certainly Beeston players aren't getting through the middle of the park, but there is space down both flanks to progress this forward. Here's another opportunity.
First time Beeston have built something together around the edge of the circle in a little while, although that spoils out.
Louis Duplay played it onto his own foot. There's the defender receiving, was closed down too quickly by the Reading forward, and so the honour goes to the defender for a restart. And we're back in the same place again, and just checking in again from the. See, that's dangerous place to be running with the ball, Robbie Gleeson. You cannot afford to give that away in that situation.
Very, very fortunate, I think, in that last passage.
Yeah.
Here's Dupré, checks inside, sweeps the ball across the field. A lot of space, and it's right towards the edge of the circle. Green card has been shown as well to Daniel Cox. By the way, that one flashed by.
A lot of space there for Reading. Oh, nice tackle. That's very neatly taken. I just feel that a tempo change from Beeston now, when they get into these towards the halfway line on either flank, would be quite helpful for them, just to force Reading to have to work a bit harder and maybe even catch them out of shape a couple of times.
Beeston a player up for at least another 90 seconds. Can they turn this player advantage into an opportunity? Can they get the
time to try and do it as well when your opponent's down to 10?
Patient build-up though. This is Balwaj Panesar moving things forward.
And no lead from the high forward. I think that's something that we should see more of. Very static in the D there from Jamie Golden. I think he could have put a bit more effort in there.
By that, what does that translate to? Nearer the ball?
Yeah, I think he stood in the centre of the D when the ball was running loose on the right-hand side of the D. He could have led out to try and pick that up a bit quicker. Drag the Reading defence around a little bit more.
Back to a full complement of players for Reading.
There we go. Now we have got connection in a good area. That needs to go in.
That's a little bit too high.
Execution of skills there. Just hits it a bad. It could have been a slap cross. As long as it stayed on the floor, that would have been useful.
Chest height, not so much.
Even though I can't see him, I can almost hear Stephen Wood, the Beeston coach, huffing at that situation.
Looks as if there's good discussion on the bench at the moment, on the Beeston bench. I know that the team of Graham Griffiths, Stephen Wood, James McBlain, also Gareth Aiken is doing the videoing work as well. It's all appreciated, and they're trying to build something.
Yes.
Rebuild, I think, is rather than.
That's right, yeah. Been an interesting time for Beeston over the years, since the heady days of 2012, 13, 14, when they were winning the Premier League playoffs and the title. A lot changed for them. Facilities have gone on a treat. He's trying to put a team alongside it as well.
Nice ball flicked up in the circle. Nice pull down in the air as well. Reading held up via Robbie Gleeson, who fouled in the process of that.
Yes, he's unhappy about something. I'm not quite sure what he's complaining about. It was more like a stick tackle from him to me. So, but again, it's just that little moment of directness probably called for by Beeston. They've got them nearer to the D. Up again in the midfield. That ball back with Reading.
It's gone a long way. Little touch there. Having to be alert in defence, Beeston, because
there was a Reading player. That's the point I'm making. How that Reading player made it difficult, because he was travelling towards the ball.
Ashdown done well. Griffiths brings it over halfway. The space on the left-hand side is an enormous amount of numbers coming back from Reading in defence, and that volume of numbers has swamped the Beeston potential attack.
Yes, and again, if you just look at the forward there, which is Jamie Golden again, he was behind his defender, he saw the ball was being fed into the edge of the D, but he didn't get ahead with enough energy to try and win possession. They need to do a little bit more of that. Very deep for Reading now. They're in their own 23-metre part of the pitch. Ball with a half back and again back there. Just feel there's a chance to hurry the Reading defenders a bit more and maybe help them make a mistake. But both teams seem to be sitting off the defenders at the moment.
No real pressure coming.
No real pressure. No, that's right. It's,
the first moment of pressure, though, is effective. Will be a free hit. Beeston affording to put a few players up.
Here we are in the midfield again. Ball fed in and fed out just to try to make Reading's press readjust a bit.
Really far up the field is Ollie Ashdown, who's almost on the goal line a few moments ago.
Stretching the play a bit, seeing if it affects the way that Reading defend. They're having to think about man marking at the back.
And that's who they're trying to find, but the ball went all the way through. You did see it hit the back of the netting, but did not take a touch at all in the circle.
Slight change of tactics there, just getting two forwards very high when Beeston have possession of the ball. See if there's any chance that they can fire something through.
All it needs is a deflection.
Yeah.
And you've got to be in there to score.
Well, particularly we've seen Sam Apula make some fantastic deflected goals in the past. This is with that penalty sloppy play. That ball was hanging loose in the D for ages, and you have to get on it quickly. You have to win the 50-50s and make sure that that situation doesn't happen. Reading was the ball quickest, and they found a foot. If this turns into a goal, it'll be entirely to do with not getting to that 50-50 ball. Look there, very slow.
So there is still a lot of time left in this quarter. I suspect this isn't the final amount of play.
No.
Reading with 3 in total so far.
Well, Balraj Panesar there. I'm slightly surprised that he didn't. He's a big, tall lad. He could quite easily have got his stick onto that ball. It took too long. Reading much quicker. So here we go.
It'll shuffle around the edge of the circle, more towards the left-hand side of the circle. There was sliding movement, and Dupre.
This kid hit his foot, yeah, the bouncy ball has hit his foot. Great running and watching by Jamie Rawlins there.
Two attempted clearances. Look at the pace coming in the centre of the field. Panesar streaking up towards the edge of the circle. He's in there, almost on the penalty spot. He's coming close to it. Goalkeeper watches it go by him.
Yes, yeah.
And if Ollie Ashdown was where he was a few moments ago, he potentially had a tap in. Here's Dupre again. Comes back inside. Does take a touch and invites a challenge.
Robbie's finding.
Oh,
yes.
It's been turned in.
Yes.
What an end to the first half. And then also taking the congratulations. It looks like it's Balraj Panesar.
Maybe he feels he had to make up for that penalty corner a few moments ago, but that's one of the benefits of making sure you stack the back post, put players on the back post for these sorts of balls fed in. If it gets all the way through, having somebody there.
Disappointment, you can tell, etched on the defender's face. It went through 2 pairs of legs almost.
Yes, it did.
And that is the final touch of the half. Would you believe it? What an end. It's Beeston 1, Reading 0.
I think the game needed a bit of a lifter. From Beeston's point of view, it's gone in their favour.
Well, Beeston are ahead. We will have a look at some highlights from yesterday's game. Beeston's women travelled to Buckingham in a few moments' time. At the end of we will have the highlights from this half, which probably won't take too long in the grand scheme of things, but that's not being generous. It's not been action-packed, has it? It's been a competitive first half, that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Beeston, do they deserve to be a goal up?
Well, I think in the context of this game, they're a bit fortunate in a way because most of the attacks and the 3 penalty corners have come from Reading. But when the game is being played in this style, anybody can score those goals because both sides have had opportunities. It's fortunate it just fell to Beeston.
We'll just have an on-air production meeting. So what we will have is the half highlights from this game. Will we be also going to Buckingham? We will not be going to Buckingham for yesterday's highlights just yet, but do stay tuned for that. You'll be thrilled with the outcome from that. And also, we've got a few messages to say at the end of these highlights, so do stay tuned. This is BTV. Beeston lead Reading by 1-0. Although not perfect, gifting possession back under an awful lot of Beeston pressure.
Done well there.
Extremely well from Harry Skinner.
And that's into some space.
It is indeed. Beeston have a lot of players at home. Let's play towards a goal, and that pulls Simon Hujman in the Beeston goal into action. This hasn't been the greatest couple of minutes of hockey. It's
here we go. This is a bit of a turn here. So Gareth Griffiths, but he's been tackled. So
as you were saying in the first quarter, it's the moment where a team sticks a few things together. Did that hit a foot on the way through? I think it did. Or more reward. You're watching a replay, by the way. The team's almost ready to take. In fact, we'll drop the replay and go back live.
Same again.
And
well saved.
Again.
That's a very good save, low to Simon Hujman's right.
He was a few moments ago. He would have potentially had a tap in. Here's Dupre again. Comes back inside. Does take a touch and invites a challenge.
Robbie's finding. Oh, yes.
It's been turned in.
Yes.
What an end to the first half.
Our main live streaming partner is Air IT. With over 15 years of industry experience, they are a mature, well-established and trusted strategic technology partner to a wide range of organisations and in-house teams. With comprehensive expertise across IT, communications, cybersecurity and business intelligence, Air IT will cover all your technology needs. Whether you choose to fully outsource or complement in-house resources, we provide a complete managed solution from initial advice to supply, implementation and ongoing support. Find out more at airit.co.uk.
We're also proud to partner with Club Buzz. Club Buzz lets sports clubs build an incredible website and manage their entire club, including their team selection and payments with the Club Buzz app, which is rated 5 stars in the Apple App Store. Get started for free with Club Buzz at clubbuzz.co.uk. I'm now pleased to say we can head across to yesterday's match at Buckingham, where Beeston's women were successful in their quest for points, winning the game by 2-1. Let me talk you through those goals. Minute. So final score yesterday in the Women's Premier Division, Buckingham 1, Beeston Women 2. What we will do now is have a break and we come back refreshed and fully charged for the second half. This is BTV. Beeston lead Reading in the Men's Premier Division by 1-0. Welcome back to coverage of BTV of Beeston versus Reading. What we're looking at now is a session on the pitch with Beeston's Flyers team. Everyone getting a chance to shine on the field. Whilst we've been looking at those highlights and you've been able to watch as well, just thinking about what's been going on the live stream, congratulations to the Flyers. And listen to that applause as it rains down from the spectator gallery. This is BTV. You can see Reading are fresh from their half-time break. Beeston almost set and ready to go. Beeston in the black and yellow half shirts, black shorts and yellow socks. Reading in light blue and dark blue. Beeston attacking the car park end in the second half. Reading going left to right, attacking the boulevard end. So, who stood out for you in the first half?
Well, I thought that the defensive work that Samapula as a forward did was very good. He often won possession deep in his own half, and I think that's so valuable when you get forwards who can defend well. Jamie Rawlings was quite calm and collected and made a couple of good defensive traps on the line with the edge, so probably wanted more of that, but I think both teams have got to be a little bit more progressive, and even though Beeston have the lead, I still think they've got to make sure that one goal in hockey is never enough. They need to make sure that there's at least another one available to them at some point.
We were looking over some of the stats as well. Obviously the main one is on the one on your screen. Beeston leading Reading by 1-0. Are we able now to confirm that that's a Balrash Panesar goal? Yes, we've got the thumbs up. So yes, Panesar, debut goal for him.
Yes, he'll be pleased with that. It came a minute or two after giving away a penalty corner, so he made up for the error very nicely indeed. Beeston ball there, it's encroached by the defender. Ball again found a foot, so dangerous position for a restart here. This would be a great time to get a second goal.
Support coming to the left of your picture. Joe Paul, number 20, has just gone through the bottom left. He's in an awful lot of space there on his own, out of picture. I wonder if it can be found. There it is. Although he's been bypassed, and that is a miscontrol that he won't be happy with.
You see, I do wonder, I watched right at the start of this game, there was a chance for Joe Paul to put the ball down the left-hand side to space, and he chose not to, and it was recycled around amongst the back four players. The first time they've done it, it's not connected, and it's those kind of, the urgency and the passer and the receiver that make big differences. He's come back to a slightly deeper press now than they were a minute ago, and that's nicely won by Gareth Griffiths, played into space.
Just for those of you who haven't watched the first half of the game or heard the preview, right in the middle of your picture now is number 45, Monty Neve. If you're expecting him to see number 11, I think he was expecting to be number 11 as well. However, he is in 45 today, so if you can update your match sheets at home, that'll be good. There's the ball into the circle. That's hit a foot. That's disappointing.
Oh my goodness me! That was such a good position there for Brendan Andrews. You have to be careful. That's really good goal-scoring chance. No defender with him, and it's hit his own foot.
Yeah, it wasn't really his foot. It was his leg. So
yeah,
we were talking before we even got anywhere near the microphones today about the bounciness of the pitch, which has settled somewhat.
We're
still finding a few surprises.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I was here with a game with the Beeston third team yesterday, and those lads who train on one of the different pitches said how bouncy they found it. So it's not settled down to its proper consistency yet, I don't think.
Right in front of us is Adam Prescott, who receives the ball. If you've never attended a game here at Nottingham Hockey Centre, please do come down. You are very welcome to. But if you've been here before, you might have seen the chapel, and we are right below the camera position. Reading looked to get on terms with the ball just outside the circle, bounces a couple of times, umpire right on it, and that was dangerous.
That's found its way out of the far side of the D.
Whistle blows and Reading retreat. It's gone a long way. Beeston committing quite a few players forward, and that's a good run.
Yeah, I think Ollie Ashdown was looking to increase the speed of the forward progression, and it's again fallen to a Beeston player. A lot of space here to make sure they keep the ball. Very well played. Lovely defence from Reading, but not enough ball control by Sam Apula on that occasion. This pass on the right-hand side. Off the side of the pitch gives Beeston a restart.
I was going to say that's Prentice who goes with restart, but he opts to leave it. Give and go. Prentice is on the halfway line as well, and a lot of space outside of the picture as well on the left-hand side, but the ball's over on the right in front of the dugouts. 40th minute, Beeston lead Reading by a goal to nil in the men's Premier Division. Reading coming off a victory last weekend, Beeston by a single goal defeat at Oxted. We were looking at the season as a whole as well. What would be a good season?
Well, because of the way that the season's set up now, trying to get into that top 6 is a priority for any of the teams. There are some obvious candidates who I think will be there anyway. Wimbledon's, Old Georgian, Surbiton, probably Hampstead, Holcombe. But it's there for other teams as well if they can get to be consistent and string a few wins together.
It also does improve the quality of those unexpected teams, for want of a better phrase, that make it into the top 6. We saw last season the success that Beeston women had.
Yes,
a lot of people were worried that the women's side may have struggled, but they thrived.
They did, yes. Because it was the standard, as you say, Andy, because the standard was lifted, it lifted the players as well, and they became very competitive. And I think Beeston men are trying to emulate that this year if they can.
And to that regard, that's where I think it's not universally popular by any stretch, but the division breaking up into 2 gives competitive games every week for every team, because sometimes in the previous setup where every team played each other twice, you'd find that there'd be some cricket scores some weeks.
Yes, that's right.
There's the ball in the circle. Did that find the foot? No, it didn't. It was close.
Needed to be defended, that did. There was a Beeston player lurking behind. Beeston again on the ball. This is
nice chop.
Good skills. Just got it.
Ball into the circle. There's a shoulder to shoulder.
I think that's a bit too much of a push. Sam Apula involved in everything at the moment.
Right end of the field from Beeston's point of view. Look at the ball bounce again on the field, and Beeston come away with it over halfway. Little check inside. That's very neatly done.
Just getting that ball from these half positions to the higher, more dangerous positions near the D. Something Beeston's trying to do a bit more of, it looks like to me.
Joe Paul offered. Looking back as well, that was Jamie Rawlings at the base of the defence at the apex as the ball finds its way into the circle, bounces a couple of times, and that was a big appeal. And a big opportunity at the end of it. There was a shout for a penalty corner, but also a presentable chance at the end of that.
Yeah, there was. Beeston not had a penalty corner yet, and this was one of the things they were concerned about last week. I mean, they got 4 last week, but looking at the number of times they're in the D and in these dangerous areas and not deliberately manufacturing a penalty corner, and they've got 2 good flickers in, Jamie Rawlings and Jamie Golden, so they could do with trying to win these corners. Good use of the aerial.
Taken down into space by Reading, knocked away. Sideline ball right on halfway. I think we've seen a full complement of players being rotated through, Drew.
It looks like that. I think that's right. Ball loose here. Who's to it first? And Robbie Gleeson gets hold of that.
Drifts off the sideline.
That's Toby Stanley on the right there, not being able to keep that passing move going. So important for players that they keep their focus on what the ball's doing, its trajectory, height, and all those things, so that these little interplays, which happen so quickly, can continue and don't break down too quickly.
Hayward Bourne looked to go right, then went left. Continues the play over to the right-hand side towards Ryan Crowe, number 32, but Crowe's touch had him down.
Yeah, quite a few players, whether they are, I shouldn't really be saying they're struggling with the pitch, but there does seem to be quite a few missed traps. But by now you'd think, you've been on the pitch for 40 minutes or so, you need to work out what it's doing and play to the conditions.
This is again where I might be getting a false reading, but I don't think there was anywhere near as many a week ago in the women's match, which is interesting to compare.
Right.
Backing in.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Toby Stanley, the Beeston player who was penalised.
Use of the aerial again, into space this time, so that's quite useful. How can Beeston stop this play?
Illegally.
Illegally, yes. Well, they're sort of part of the art of the game, really, is can you slow down a threatening attack? That's fallen loose for Reading, and there's a lot of space here.
And that has been turned in for the equalising goal. Beeston stood perfectly still in defence.
You cannot let that happen. It was quite clear that that fella had a chance to run for the edge of the D, and of course going to hit it hard the minute he gets over that line. This restart here, straight through the middle of 2 players, and so too is the run. Just looking at celebration there.
We're thinking it could be Oliver Deasy, the captain, who's come up with the goal, but we're waiting for official confirmation for that. So, level terms, Beeston 1, Reading 1.
And it was only a moment or 2 ago when the ball was free for a Beeston forward, and it was mistrapped in the D, so a lot to do for Beeston again if they want to get ahead.
It's Harry Skinner,
yeah,
who has been confirmed as the goal scorer on the replay. So Harry Skinner making it 1-1 for Reading.
Direct run from Harry, and then he's not taken long to, no big backswing or anything, he's just hit that ball on the run. Very hard for the goalkeeper in those situations.
But what was the defence doing?
I know, it was static and watching.
I think they were anticipating, maybe they were anticipating that the free hit wasn't taken quickly, because it came up quickly, got a touch, and then onto Skinner's stick, who controlled it and then ran into the circle.
Yes.
But you've got to play to the whistle. There was no whistle.
I think that urgency has been missing a bit sometimes. We talked about the leads for the forwards as well. It's not been strong enough, but or quick enough. Yes, I'm going to say that was... you can see actually how high the ball bounced then when it hit the floor in front of Robbie Gleeson. It sort of came up above his waist. So there's obviously quite a lot of spring in the pitch. Oh dear, that's another miss over that side. Jamie Rawlings, yeah, it's just Reading in a very strong part of the pitch.
Jamie Golden having to come back and do some mopping up in defence as the ball coasts over the baseline.
And there's no doubt that Reading will think if this stays at 1-1 or if they go on to get a win, that'll be a great start for them in the Premier League. So if Beeston are going to have any hopes of getting high up the league, they've got to do better than this. Look at the space here.
Just outside the circle.
Quicker, Beeston, concentrate, lads.
Often it can be a little bit like history repeating. Beeston were a goal up against Oxted a week ago.
Yes.
They conceded an equaliser, and then Oxted went on to win the game by 2-1.
Careless pass again, and towards Samapula, who was actually heading in the opposite direction, not looking at the ball.
Hearn with the ball along the line, trying to find Tom Minnell.
Seems to have put an extra spring in the step of the Reading players now. They've sensed a bit more of an opportunity here. So dangerous place on the edge of the D again.
Giving away a free hit just inside that 5-metre dotted line.
Stephen forced to play it out, transferred across to the opposite side of the pitch.
Beeston looking to press. Successfully so, it appears.
Yeah, that's 4-1 to Beeston. There's a quicker restart, and look at that. That's given them a lot of space.
Look at the circle as well. There's a player lingering.
Yeah.
Also, Jamie Golden right on the line as well, if he can be found. Beeston starting to build up a bit of a head of steam. Free hit. Also, look at the number of blue shirts as well, making a transfer difficult. Into the circle. Reading have come up smelling of roses.
Yeah, they watched that. There were a lot of defenders nice and low, made that difficult for Beeston to make any kind of a slip pass in the D.
Ball taken quickly. It's with Tom Minnell. And now inside, progress towards the edge of the circle, miscontrol, knocked away.
Me, there's been a lot of examples of that.
That's still in play.
A
lot of people
on
have
rails,
given up
I think.
on that.
Yes. But the space, there's a lot of space there. Beeston is well inside their own half now.
Flick ball towards the circle.
Still with Reading.
Turned inside, popped up off the stick, taken down by Jamie Golden. Golden assesses the options, goes one way then the other, makes a space for himself, and the first time ball into the corner is good.
Yes, and it's connected, so
Bowie.
Can we get a corner?
Taken down, goalkeeper's committed, and
that's been missed, I think, as it went across the goal mouth.
Goalkeeper Chris Weaver, who's been bypassed there.
I think that was actually went across the goal mouth without anybody getting on the end of it.
So the closest we've come to a goal since the equaliser. Beeston have come close to it. That's just
Again,
beyond the stick. Did that hit the foot? Yes, it did. And the clearance.
Slow the reaction, lads. They need to be. That ball fell loose again. Reading to it first. Little chances that cropping up for Beeston here.
Jamie Golden looking to state the case that he's in the right place, but the ball needs to move.
And the press is much higher now, so Beeston deciding, I think, to try and get on the front foot a bit, see if they can win the ball higher up and cause Reading some defensive issues. Reading using the aerial to take the pressure off.
Reading not happy with that decision. Coming up to 2 minutes until the third quarter-time break.
That's nearly a nice connection. Has that worked? Yes, it has. Beeston again. Yeah, that's nice and quick, but it's fallen straight to a Reading player.
Defence stepping up after the whistle had blown. So Reading looking to end the third quarter in possession, pushing to go ahead for the first time in the game.
I think one of the things I would be a little bit concerned about from, well, possibly both teams, but certainly from Beeston's perspective, is their intensity at times. It seems a bit lacking. Loose balls, 50-50s, things of that sort, leads from the high forwards.
Slippers just let in the ball, however, that was a good recovery from Louis Dupre.
Not clear enough removal of the ball, and there close to the Reading players. They've still got it.
Diving save from Hujwan, had to be alert for that one. Wasn't going towards goal, but he had to intervene.
Yes,
really.
He did. Again, Beeston bringing sort of their own problems, I think, really, by not clearing the ball safely and quickly.
Turned in towards the circle, and that's a big appeal.
See, these little moments, you know, you don't. Again, it's hit a foot when with no real pressure on the Beeston defender. From this position here, Reading heading out of the D, but fed back in. There, that should be easily taken. I think Will Prentice was.
I think it may not have been Will Prentice, but we'll come back to that in a moment. What we do have, though, is another penalty corner on the board for Reading.
A very delicate moment this, because close to the end of the third quarter.
In fact, we should have had the whistle by now, I think.
It's just gone, yeah. That's so, dangerous moment for Beeston. They need to get this out of the D as quick as possible.
Not via the goal. So you can see, because that whistle has blown, time has stopped at 52 and 30. Reading have pulled pretty much everybody forward. Beeston need to be on their toes to defend this. Two likeliest players just outside, leaning on their sticks. Was there going to be a little movement?
There we go, that's to that.
Low, it's come off the pads, and it's a repeat penalty corner, and Beeston aren't happy with that at all.
I think Beeston thought that hit a Reading foot before it was deemed to hit a Beeston foot. Simon Hudran particularly feels strongly about that.
I don't suspect that the umpire's going to change their mind.
No, because the other umpire on a corner is far away to have been able to see any better. So it will be another corner.
All the Beeston defenders are retreating. Reading, second bite at the cherry.
And because this is over time, look how many Reading players there are there. They'll all close this in. Makes life very difficult for the Beeston 5. Look, there they go.
Trap is good, it's blocked, and the umpire has to jump over the...
And there we go, that's...
Still live. Player down, and that is finally the end of the third quarter. Beeston survive a barrage of 2 penalty corners in quick succession. 1-1 is the score in the men's Premier Division.
Well, a bit of a quarter shootout now for the two teams, and I think in that particular quarter both sides had opportunities. Reading obviously took their goal very well. Beeston did create opportunities, but they weren't clinical enough in the D. So probably an interesting last 17.5 minutes.
With that in mind, where do you fancy the points going? Because Beeston scored right at the end of the first half.
Yes.
And they haven't, apart from one opportunity where the ball was across the face of goal and no one was there to turn it in, not really made a great deal.
No. I think when you've got a side that's come back from being 1-0 down, the momentum tends to be with them. They'll be sensing an opportunity to take all 3 points. Beeston cannot afford to sit back and try to defend too deeply, because they're trying to protect a 1-1 position is not good enough. They need a goal, need to try to get a winner. So knowing Stephen Wood, he will want them to be expansive and progressive and get that ball high to the forwards. So I'm pretty sure he'll go and try and get this win in the last quarter of the game. I think they need a corner. Beeston haven't had one.
You're right. It's been Reading have had a corner every quarter so far. We will get that stat on screen in the final quarter, by the way. No rush for that now. But yes, one corner could make all the difference. Muss's law of 3 usually comes into account. There we have it now. 5 corners in total for Reading, none so far for Beeston. But one makes a difference.
It does.
5 and none.
Beeston, as I say, have a corner threat. I'm surprised in a way that they are not playing to it by trying to win corners, because that's certainly what I would be doing. Those little plays they've had on the right-hand side of the D, you can turn those into corners quite easily. Here we go.
So can Beeston get 3 points on the board for the first time this season? Or slightly less of a stretch, can Beeston get points at all on the board for the first time this season?
Yes. Yeah. Well, they've straight away gone Louis Dupre playing at the middle of the back 3 at the moment, so intent to put the ball down the flank. That's been nicely picked up by Reading, and there's a lot of space for them.
Although space has been closed down rapidly, Harry Skinner, who made it 1-1, fires the ball across the face of goal.
That's
brilliant
very
take.
Good position.
And fortunately for Beeston, they get the benefit of the whistle.
Yeah,
Great angle ball.
Yeah, Simon Hudran was alert to that. The Reading forward was in a lot of space there, and the pass was well connected to him. So, bit of an escape.
Griffiths has time to take a touch. He could sense that there were players around him, so he opted to go back.
That's the trouble with playing in and out of the midfield. It's so difficult to in the game nowadays to actually get it in there and get beyond the midfield. It often just comes straight back out again to the players in defence. There we go. Look, 3 players straight away, and the only option is to pass it back from whence it came.
Taking a touch, and Reading, as we've been saying for some time now, first to it. That's taken a touch. Goalkeeper Hujwan.
We'll watch that out.
Yeah, just little jump over it. I thought for a moment he was going to clear it, but no, he was wise to it, because the risk of that going to a player in blue was too much.
Well, Beeston have gone to a back 3, so they've pushed somebody high. They're looking. You can see Brendan Andrews stood right in the D now. So this is Stephen Wood's attempt to get a goal out of this. It does leave space at the back, so you expect your forwards to try to keep the ball higher up the pitch for longer.
Little controlled tap out of play.
That's a good position. Now that needs to go into the D.
And it does, that's very high.
Not executed the skill well enough, and so all that good work has just gone away, and back they start again.
That's Ethan Chapman who's been hit in the hand by that delivery in. And he's actually just gone off to have that looked at.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye out on that one. I don't think it's too serious, but it could do with a little bit of a rest as Beeston look to press.
You can see the pressure coming now from Beeston, trying to see if they get, and there it's worked. Now what can they do with this?
Flicked in towards the centre. It has been played in, and the umpire's closely watching this.
And I think that, oh no.
Just looking out of shot, there's a player down,
yeah,
and it is number 27, Adam Prescott. Not sure what happened because I was following the path of the ball, but certainly player's been stopped, and Prescott is the player who is down, and it doesn't seem to be in the best of health at the moment. So the umpire's just gone over to check things. I think that's umpire Nick Bennett.
Yeah,
just bringing up Adam Prescott, and that's two, and that's is that a leg? It's just
looks
left leg. Able to continue. Could have been cramp. It could have been a ping. It certainly. We are playing again, and he's not gone off.
But a chance there for Beeston to win a corner. I was pretty sure they'd upgraded that possession to a corner, but not to be.
It's not quite kitchen sink time, is it? But just
no,
incremental turns of the dial on the pressure.
That's right. Just dropped off a bit, Beeston there. Just there's another aerial thrown off the side. Something to do with the gravity around Beeston that's affecting.
If it was only somewhere nearby that specialised in opticals and glasses, maybe we could get a few of the players sent over there. Can't think where.
I think Beeston have no option really but to try to get. I mean, again, the ball's gone across, not trapped. It's
Beeston,
it's been deflected. Yeah, there we go.
They do get it, and offering is Jamie Rawlings, and in fact he goes to play it in, relieving the pressure. Steady ball in from the side. Look at the pressure coming. 3 Reading players immediately on.
What can not a lot of space to work with there. That's Reading dealing with that quite easily.
Jamie Rawlings having to jump to retrieve the ball, but in winning the ball in the air, knocks it onto a Reading player, therefore creating danger.
Yeah, that's right. Here we go. Is the press going to stay high? Brendan Andrews looks to work a lot harder there. Oh,
just so close to being picked up. Although second
space
attempt
on this side.
There's a ball on the outside of the circle. It's been stopped and then turned in the second time.
Basic skills, not good enough there. That's just to let another potential attack go away. Not quite sure why they're struggling so much with the control of the ball.
Just having a look off camera, Adam Prescott has gone off and he's just been showing some of the Reading bench the back of his legs. I don't know if he's been caught.
Might have been, yeah. It's
but he's certainly off the field, not receiving treatment because I'm looking at it now, but certainly he's off. Ethan Chapman as well, who had that ball to the hand. I'm not sure. He's not returned either by the looks of things.
Ball travelling a little bit quicker around amongst the Reading back 4 now. The speed of the pass has increased. That's nicely won by Beeston. And a free and a restart over on that side.
Reading have pressed well, but leaving the ball to another player moves that pressure down just a little bit. All very scrappy.
Yeah. Again, Beeston's basics, not retaining the ball in that dangerous part of the pitch. Yeah, everybody back for Beeston now for this Reading restart.
Lots of area for Reading to work in. Finding an angle. Hayward ball
deciding to
checks in, checks out. Ball popping up off the pitch
yeah,
again.
Yes, yeah.
Reading stringing now 10, 11, 12 passes in a row.
Yeah. Just taking that bit of time to see if they can move it around quick enough to create space for a feed, and that's gone to a Beeston player, or has it?
Looks by the way of the retreating players, it is a Beeston ball from the side. Fired in from the back, and that was a risky one.
Tight. That's, again, pass and receive, not very good.
Reading ball, 60th minute. Beeston having to be alert in defence. I think that's Rawlings who's taking the ball out of harm's way.
Yeah, at least they've Toby Stanley there managing to find a foot. Jamie Rawlings decided to use the aerial into space.
Nice takedown from a Pooler on halfway line. That's good.
That is to a good position.
Not their first time, but turned in on the second one. Brilliant finish. End-to-end stuff from Beeston, and the Bees retake the lead.
Well, Ollie Ashdown has worked really hard to get that ball after he picked it up in the D, and to get the slip across the goal mouth. Excellent. Jamie Golden alert to that.
And look at a shout of enjoyment of that. That's a first touch, but knows.
That little moment there, excellent. Excellent slip pass from Ollie Ashdown, and that's led to that goal.
Brilliant stuff, and yeah, look at the celebration and the joy. Beeston have retaken the lead with 10 minutes still to play. Reading, I think, a little bit stung by that, because they were in the ascendancy.
They were, and I think it was going to take something like that. It was a proper counter-attack, and the speed of it was what caught the Reading defence out. Now, the tactics that Beeston employ now are going to be very interesting. 10 minutes out, do you protect that lead, or do you try and get another goal?
Well, you were saying that one goal earlier on isn't enough.
I don't think it is. I think because there's an opportunity here where Reading heading down towards dangerous parts. That's well mopped up by Ali Richmond there.
Yeah, Richmond did very well there, having to bring the ball under his spell. It was up, it was down. And this is where you start to question, is this the right place, umpire? Do I restart from here?
That's right.
Just to shave a few seconds off here and there. It's not quite time-wasting time yet, and it's also not worth parking the bus, but you don't want to gift your opponent a route back into the game.
You don't. So you need to get your basics to be right now. So every time you make a pass, it's nicely received, under control, and the build-up is... That to me is very tight, but Robbie Gleeson's done very well there.
Kept in play by Dupre, who has
ran it onto a
taken
stick
off him. Hearn.
He's certainly working back hard, but he needed to because he ran that onto a flat stick. And that's excellent work there from...
That is number 4, Toby Stanley,
who's done very well there.
Oh,
and that's into space. Oh,
look at the slide as well. That is appreciated as well from the sliding Ollie Ashdown. I think the pass looked like it was intended for the umpire. However, it looked like it was into space.
Yes. Need another extra stride on it to get on the end of it, but
looks like we've got a bit of news coming in. Beeston's Louis Dupre has been shown a green card, which is not something that the home side wanted at this time.
No.
So that clock is ticking. We've already had a green card in the game, but Daniel Cox, number 23 of Reading, has been shown the card previously. That one's expired. Beeston down to 10 currently.
Well, that would have been the retreat tackle by Louis Dupre after he'd lost the ball. Stick tackled the player. And here's the ball with Beeston. That's nicely received.
Pressure coming from
a lot of
Tom
space
Minnow.
Here. So this, oh dearie, get hold of the ball. That's Gareth Griffiths. Having to work
Shielding
back
of the
here
ball
with
as well. Apula having to work really hard, and I think has given away a
I think
foul.
that could well be a card as well.
None looks to be forthcoming. Reading happy to play quickly. And that's a slide, and that's really risky in the circle. Looked like there was a little bit of danger created.
There's a little Bambi axe on the corner there for James Hunt. Fortunately, that's come to nothing. This is where Beeston need to be very careful now. The turnovers of the ball by Beeston players are going to come back at them like lightning. So they need to be playing at the other end if they can, or retaining good possession.
That slide from James Hunt, very reminiscent of yesterday when I went ice skating in Tamworth. That's a similar outcome.
Just looking at Joe Paul on the ball there, just choosing to put it into the back four players. They're taking their time. I think that's the right thing to do.
Oh, it's a miscontrol there.
Deary me, that's a very dangerous moment.
Goalkeeper having to find a big foot, and there was a lot of time, a lot of space. You don't want to give away the ball with the space on the right-hand side of the circle to run into in particular.
You have to question yourself as a player in the moment. Are you ready for the moments that present themselves when you're in this sort of a phase of a game? You cannot afford to be doing that. It puts your whole team under pressure needlessly.
Full house back in for Beeston, 11 versus 11. 65th minute. This is where you start to percolate your thoughts on player of the match. We'll come back to that in due course. Skinner, the player who made it 1-1 with a reverse ball to literally nobody.
Yes, I think he thought that the right half was going to progress down the right-hand side. Didn't do that, so it gives Beeston a moment or two to just compose themselves.
Ali Richmond with a restart. The pressure not really forthcoming from Reading, but they haven't really had to pressure too hard to force a mistake. Although this looks neater so far out of defence. Don't want to speak too soon, but what I can see in front of me is nice from Ali Richmond, who's carried the ball to halfway.
He needs to make sure that goes forwards.
That's better. That is incredibly good. A couple of passes being strung together.
Take your time. I think that's a stick tackle on Toby Stanley, so...
There's a neat crossfield ball, but not really a great one. Ethan Chapman, I think, who was the player who pulled it down, who's going to ground now. Good to see Chapman is, if that was the player, he's back in from that little hand injury earlier on. In fact, he was there. Yes, he's come back. He's just come back off again.
I think Beeston thought that hit a Reading foot then, but it's not how the umpire saw it. 4 or so minutes to go.
Beeston fans, if you're watching, I'm sure you want 4 really dull minutes. Yeah. However, I don't think that's what's in store.
A lot of Reading players now in the D, so
that
attack's come to nothing, so that'll be a restart. Doesn't need to worry too much about that because it uses a bit more time up.
This is where everyone forgets that where the ball needs to go and how restarts happen. And
see, look how close that was to the Reading stick. That's just unnecessary. Creating dangerous moments. And as I say, are you ready for the phase of the game that you're in? That should never have happened.
Toby Stanley at the bottom left of your picture. I'm looking at him in real life. There's a huge amount of space. It is what you can see in the picture. Finally, the ball's going to come out to this left-hand side. Beeston coming out of a lot of traffic, and that's a good couple of minutes of Ali Richmond. One for the skill highlight reel.
And they've won. Yep, they've still won it. So a bit of fighting to do here, and that's fallen to a Beeston player.
Oh, Stanley just couldn't get the touch on it, but Reading was set in defence.
That's well left on this side by Ali Richmond. Just taking a moment.
Yeah, just looking out of the window here, it seems to be breathing really heavily, but then that's the early seasonness, which is still being worked out. Beeston looking to contain.
Oh, that's nicely fed in. Oh, I thought that was going to fall to Brendan Andrew, but no, it didn't.
Reading now, it is kitchen sink time. They're looking to bring the ball down into distance. That will help things for them, as it's a free hit from that aerial. It's going to be left for Fred Newbold to restart.
The umpire saw that as being a Reading position there, which I thought was a bit odd. Never mind.
Just to describe the production team that are in the rest of the chapel here, shaking heads furiously. I, of course, have no opinion. Famously. Just being left for Adam Prescott.
Yeah, this little tight area, mustn't let them out there.
That's unfortunate from a Reading perspective.
Yes, it is.
Because the ball's just been carried over the baseline. This gives Beeston at least 15 seconds to regroup and have a think about how they want to restart.
Well, there's only one place you want that ball to be now.
Oh, my word, how risky.
Close that was.
But that's a great pass. Wonderful ball. This could seal it. Goalkeeper's had to come a long way.
That was an interesting run from from Brendan Andrews. The ball was free for him and he decided to run away. Very strange. So it's gone back to Reading and they'll have another attack from that. Ooh.
Was that an occasion where the shot was the worst option?
I think it was. I think he would have been much better trying to run the goalkeeper wide there, retain the possession for longer, and he might still have got a better opportunity for a shot.
Pressure from Reading. This one's flicked away.
Stick tackle there on Brendan Andrews.
Into the final minute. This is your chance to tell us who is your player of the match.
Well, I think, to be honest, the saves that Simon Hudgwine has made have put him up there in contention. I've not seen anybody standing out from the outfield players, so that's where I would think.
There have been a couple of standout moments. There was certainly a very good spell from Ali Richmond in this fourth
Yes,
quarter.
yeah, he's played well defensively. He's a very cool, calm player. A lot of work from Louis Dupre, but then he got himself carded. So
it's been a good watch. I think, just for those of you who are new, he has been with Beeston for, this is his second season, but he's been in the second team. Time almost up. Can Reading throw the ball into the circle, or will there not be enough time? No, there will not.
It's time. The whistle's gone. Yeah.
3 points for Beeston. That's a frustrated flash of the ball away, and that's 3 points on the board for Beeston. Barash Panasar with the opening goal with the final touch of the first half. Harry Skinner equalising, running through a static defence following a restart on 44. Jamie Golden following terrific work from Ollie Ashdown to make it happen. Jamie Golden's first goal for the club in that case.
Yes.
2 debut goals.
Yeah.
Or first goals for Panasar and Golden today.
Yeah, I think that goal particularly, Andy, was a classic example of a quality counter attack. The ball from Sam Apula, the chase down work from Ollie Ashdown, and his ability to slip the ball across the goal mouth has led to that winning goal. From
a Reading point of view, disappointment for them today. They had the opportunity to top the division, albeit briefly, or possibly briefly. But a success for Beeston stops that run of losses.
Yes.
And what we will do is we're going directly to the interview. We will be able to talk to Graham Griffiths, the Beeston manager, and this is a completely new departure for us. So Kellen Griffiths is going to leap the fence and have a chat with manager Graham Griffiths. And hopefully we'll be able to make that happen. So we can just say
you're live now on BTV. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the game? And obviously just about to be joined by Beeston captain Gareth Griffiths.
You can see him in the reflection. Thoughts on the game? Well, pretty tight. We scraped it. We take home the points. That's Premier Hockey. I thought Reading were great though today. They've got a good side there, and we've also got a good side. But we're only just getting used to knowing each other, to be quite honest. So I think we can only improve, but that's a good 3 points today. We're happy with that.
Captain Gareth Griffiths, obviously, there were parts in that game where it obviously looked a bit dicey. Obviously, we crept away at the end, but anything else that you think?
Yeah, I just think to add to that, I think sort of this time last year we'd have come into a fixture like that and maybe not gotten over the line. I think we've added some good signings, a bit more experience. Like Griff said, it's going to take a bit of time to make it stick and get to know each other. But compared to where we were this time last year, big improvement, I think.
Fantastic. And what about in terms of the rest of the season? How optimistic are you feeling?
I think there's a lot of potential in this group. I think we want to make it into that top 6. Obviously, we missed out on that last year, so that's the target this year, and we're just going to take it week by week.
And between the two of you, if you were going to pick a man of the match from Beeston, your thoughts? I can tell you what our man of the match was in the chapel, but keen to see what you think first of all.
Mine, I think, would be Simon Hudgwine.
I think I'll go for Toby Stanley. I think it's his first game back in the Beeston shirt, and he was pretty solid in there today.
Interesting. Well, in the chapel we went with Simon Hudgwine, but both great suggestions. So Graham Griffiths, Gareth Griffiths, thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
I win again.
And there we have it, the first of our post-match interviews. I think that worked quite well. We can iron out a few of the kinks, and you can see that Captain Gareth Griffiths is running back over to join his team in the post-match huddle. What's next for the teams? Well, Beeston's men travel to Hampstead and Westminster next Sunday. That's going to be a tricky one.
Yes, it will. Hampstead have not got off to the best of starts this season, and there's quite a lot of change there with their coach Quan Brown going to Southgate, and it's always a difficult place to go. The Paddington Wreck in the middle of London, but they'll go with a bit of confidence after today, and hopefully they'll have a bit more gelling done during the week through training sessions, and we'll see how they go. Groundhog
Day for BTV, as it's the Reading team that comes to play the women next week.
Yes.
It's a third promoted team in a row coming up to coming up to BTV at Nottingham Hockey Centre.
And the other thing I noticed is that Reading, who've played today, the men's team, are back up here to play Nottingham University next weekend, so they've got the same journey to make again.
It's a nice steady one.
They'll know where they're going.
Officially still, it's midnight that match starts, according to the Central Information Repository. Beeston Reading is midnight on that weekend next Saturday, but I'm sure that will change in time. I imagine it'll be 2 o'clock, so keep them posted on socials. What we will do is have a quick mention again. Many thanks to our headline sponsor, the Magical Mushroom Company. The Magical Mushroom Company harnesses the natural flexibility and strength of mycelium, material structure of fungi, to grow protective packaging at any scale by combining it with agricultural waste such as hemp, cork and sawdust. This offers a safe, sustainable and totally home compostable alternative to plastic foams, ideal for packaging, horticulture and interior design solutions. You could say they're solving the plastic problem with the magic of mushrooms. Since 2020, the Magical Mushroom Company has produced over 500,000 pieces of mushroom packaging, and by 2023 they'll effectively have removed more than 1,000 tonnes of EPS packaging from landfill. Find out more about the Magical Mushroom Company at magicalmushroom.com. Thanks again to everybody who's watched. We'll be back on BTV next Saturday. Keep them peeled on the socials again for what time that is live. It's been a pleasure keeping you company this afternoon. It's Beeston 2, Reading 1 final score, 3 points on the board for the Bees. Thank you very much to Stephen Musson and myself, Andy Day. It's been a pleasure keeping you company this afternoon. Until next time on BTV.